Hello, everyone. I'm Mr. Kissinger at the Citizenship Academy in Syracuse, New York, and this is 5th grade math, Module 3 review, Lesson 3. Today, we're going to learn how to add fractions and mixed numbers. So, on our quick review section, it says changing a mixed number to an improper fraction. And what we're going to need to do to change a mixed number to an improper fraction is we multiply our denominator by our whole number. That'll give us 40, and then we'll add that to our numerator, and that gives us 44, and we keep our denominator the same, 44 fifths. And what we're really doing there is we're doing 8 times 5 fifths, which is 5 fifths is 1, but 8 times 5 fifths would give us 40 fifths, and then we're going to add that to the 4 fifths that we already have, and that will give us 44 fifths. But the really quick way to do that is just to just multiply by our denominator, because when we want a fraction that's equal to 1, our denominator and our numerator will be the same number. So I just quickly go 8 times 5 is 40 plus 4, and that gives me my numerator, and my denominator stays the same. Now, when we're changing an improper fraction to a mixed number, so going the other way, so we look at 16 sevenths, we want to see how many times 7 goes into 16. So we're really dividing 16 by 7 and finding our remainder, and then we're putting our remainder over 7. So 7 goes into 16. Well, I know that goes in 2 times. 7 times 2 is 14. So I'll make 2. 2 is 14 sevenths. And then if I subtract 14 from this 16, I'll end up with 2 left over. And I get 2 and 2 sevenths. So what I'm really doing is I'm taking 16 sevenths minus 14 sevenths, because the 14 sevenths is 2. And I'm going to end up with 2 sevenths. And then I still need to add back in that other 14 sevenths, that 2 plus 2, 2 and 2 sevenths. So when I'm changing a mixed number to an improper fraction, I'm multiplying. And when I am changing an improper fraction to a mixed number, I am dividing. So fractions must have a common denominator before we can add them. So if we have 1/2 plus 5/6, for example, we have to make both of those denominators the same before we can begin to add. I know that 1/2, a fraction equivalent to 1/2, with 6 in the denominator, would be 3/6. So I multiply my numerator by 3, and I multiply my denominator by 3, and I can end up with 6 in both of my denominators. So I'll do 3/6 plus 5/6, and I'm going to end up with 8/6. But now I have an improper fraction, and I don't like to leave my answer in the form of an improper fraction. When I have improper fractions, I like to change them to mixed numbers. So I'm going to take my 6 out of this 8, 6/6. It would make 1, and I'll have 2/6 left over. And I can even go a step further, because 2/6, I can divide my numerator by 2, and I can divide my denominator by 2, so I can simplify. And I'm going to end up with 1 and 1/3. And that would be my final answer. So there's a few steps there to get to 1 and 1/3, but that is 1/2 plus 5/6 is 1 and 1/3. Now, if we want to model a mixed number plus a fraction without a whole number, we have, for example, 1 2/3 plus 1/2. Well, first I need common denominators, and the way I'm going to get those is I need to find a multiple, a common multiple of 3 and 2. So I'm going to make a factory of 2's here. 2, 4, 6, 8. And then I'm going to make a factory of 3s. So I have 3, 6, 9. And I already found one here. I have 6 in common. So I'm going to have to make both of these denominators 6. How can I make 3 into 6? Well, I need to multiply by 2. And anything I do to my numerator, I have to do to my denominator as well. So before I can, well, let's do it this way first. I'll show you a second way to do it after. So I'm going to multiply by 2 here, and I'm going to multiply by 2 here. And then I'll do the same thing with my 1/2. Except I need to get from 2 to 6, I need to multiply by 3, so I need to multiply my denominator by 3. What that's going to end up looking like is I have 1 4/6 plus 3/6. And if I keep my 1 the same and I add my fractions together, I'm going to end up with a kind of a weird mixed number. I'm going to have a mixed number with an improper fraction next to it. I'm going to have 1 7/6. And all I need to do to change that into a proper mixed number is I'm going to take my 6/6 out of this and turn it into another 1. So what I really have here is I have 1 plus 6/6. So I'm just making this into a kind of an expanded form, plus 1/6. Because 7/6 is really 6/6 plus 1/6. It's another way of expressing it. And I know the 6/6 equals 1. So those two together, if I add those, it'll give me 2 plus 1/6. So what this is 2 1/6. So I didn't have to break my my mixed number into an improper fraction here in order to add it. I could just find common denominators for both of my fractions and then change to a mixed number afterwards. So I can do it that way. I'll do this one the other way just to show you. This one's kind of nice because I have fifths for both of these. Actually, we'll do another one this way because for this particular problem, it's going to make more sense to just add my whole numbers and add my fractions. So I'll do 2 1/5 plus 1 3/5. I don't know why they put them vertical here. I think that these kind of problems are easier to solve horizontally, in my opinion. I'm going to add together my whole numbers. I'm going to get 3. And then I'm going to add together my fractions, and I'll end up with 1/5 plus 3/5 will give me 4/5. And I'm going to end up with 3 4/5. So that one's pretty quick and easy. I just added my whole numbers and then I added my fractions and put them together. I didn't have to change any improper fractions into mixed numbers, and I didn't have to change any mixed numbers into improper fractions. This one doesn't have any mixed numbers in it, but our solution will end up being a mixed number most likely. So I have 2/3 plus 5/6. Well, 2/3 equals 4/6. I can make my denominators the same quickly here. And then I'm going to have 4/6 plus 5/6. I'll write that out. And that's going to give us 9/6. But rather than having 9/6, I could have 6/6 plus 3/6, which will really give us 6/6 is the same as 1. So I'm going to have 1 3/6. And 3/6 is really 1/2. 3/6 is equivalent to 1/2. 3 is half of 6. If I divide both of these by 3, I'll get 1/2 or 1/2. So it's going to be 1.5. That will be our answer. Let's try just a couple more of these, and then we'll move in and we'll move on and try a word problem. So number 3 says 4 3/8 plus 1 1/4. So let's change our fractions so we have common denominators first. And we have 1 1/4 is going to become 1 2/8. If we double our denominator, we have to double our numerator. And that'll give us a common denominator. We'll have 8 in both of our denominators. Now let's add these, let's make these into improper fractions first. So I have 8 times 1 is 8 plus 2 is 10. So 1 2/8 is really 10/8. And then 4 3/8, well 8 times 4 is 32 plus 3 is 45. So that's going to give us 45/8. Oh, 32 plus 3 is 35/8, excuse me. I went a little too quickly there. That's why it's important we take our time when we do even simple adding and subtracting. So 35/8 and 10/8, that will give us 45/8. And then we have to turn that into turn our improper fraction into a mixed number. So how many times does 8 go into 45? Well, 8 times, let's just try one. 8 times 6 is 48. Okay, that's too high. 8 times 5 is 40. That will work. So we have 5 would be 48. And then we have 5 left over. So we give us 5 5/8. So we always can turn those into improper fractions first and add our numerators together and then turn it back into a mixed number. But a lot of times it's easier just to add our whole numbers together and then add our fractions together. And then if we need to, we can convert. So we'll do number 4 here. It says 3/4 plus 1/2. 1/2 is the same as 2/4. So we have 2/4 plus 3/4. That'll give us 5/4. Well, that's an improper fraction, so we need to make that 4/4 plus 1/4, which will give us 1 1/4. Because 4/4 is the same as 1. Let's move on and try a word problem here. So we have Jade and Harper are making smoothies. They each squeeze oranges. Jade is able to get 7/8 cups of orange juice, and Harper is able to get 1 2/3 cups. Together, how much orange juice do they have? So I'm going to do like an RDW strategy here. Read, draw, write. And first I'm going to read the problem. Jade and Harper are making fruit smoothies. They each squeeze oranges. Jade is able to get 7/8 cups, and I'm going to circle that, my number of my unit. Harper is able to get 1 2/3 cups. And then I'm going to box my words that tell me what I'm doing here. It says together, how much orange juice do they have? So if I'm putting those numbers together, that tells me that I'm going to be adding. Now I'm going to underline my question here. Together, how much orange juice do they have? So I've read my problem. I've annotated it. Now I need to draw a picture. So I'm going to make Jade's orange juice. I'm just going to draw like a glass here. And I have 7/8. And then I have another glass here. And I'm going to filled a little bit higher here. And this is Harper's. And this is 1 2/3. And we need to add those together. So I'm going to make an equation. It's going to be 7/8 plus 1 2/3. Oh, 1 is a whole number. 1 2/3. So first I need a common denominator because I can't add eighths and thirds. Those are different units. So I'm going to do a factory here. So I'll do 8, 16, 24, 32. We'll stop there for now. And then I'm going to start counting by threes. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Gotta keep going. 18, 21. Keep going. 24. Oh, I see a common denominator here. 24. And that's going to be 8 times 3 makes 24. So I'm going to have to multiply my 7/8, both my numerator and my denominator, by 3. So if I multiply 7 by 3, I'll get 21. Now I'll have 21 24ths plus, I need to multiply these by 8. 1, I'm going to keep my whole number the same. And I have 1 and 16 24ths. So I have just 1 still here for my whole number. And then when I add my numerators together, I'm going to end up with 37. So I have 37 24ths. Now I'm going to take out 24 24ths. So I'm going to make 37 24ths into 24 24ths. And what do I have left over after you do 37 minus 24? Well, 37 minus 24 will be 13 24ths. This will become 1. And we have 13 24ths left over as our fraction. And that will be our answer. 1 and 13 24ths. But now I've drawn, I have to write my answer in written form. So together, they have 1 and 13 24ths cups. And then we're done. All right, so we're going to stop right there for now. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to our lesson or to our part 3, module 3 review. Look forward to seeing you guys next time and have an awesome rest of your day.